It's been 20 years, but the story of Billy Bob Thornton and Angelina Jolie still feels like it's not totally over. Their marriage was super loud, crazy, and impossible to forget, but when it ended, nobody really knew why. Billy Bob didn't talk about it for years. He just made jokes about moving into hotels every time he got divorced. But people change as time goes by. Lately, he finally opened up about the real reason they broke up. What he said shows a side of their marriage that nobody ever saw. Before Angelina Jolie came into his life and turned everything upside down, Billy Bob Thornton already had a long list of broken hearts and messed up relationships. When he met her on the movie Pushing Tin in 1999, he had already been married 4 times. Each one left him hurt and full of regrets. His first wife was Melissa Lee Gatlin. They got married in 1978 when he was still a young guy trying to make it in Hollywood. They had a daughter named Amanda, but the marriage only lasted about 2 years. Billy later said he wasn't a good husband back then. He felt insecure, he cheated, and he was stressed trying to build a career from zero. Amanda grew up not really close to him, and that hurt him for the rest of his life. After Melissa, he married an actress named Toni Lawrence. That one lasted from 1986 to 1988, not even 2 full years. His job still wasn't steady, so he was always running around looking for work, staying up late writing, and taking any tiny acting job he could get. There just wasn't space for love in that crazy life. Next came an actress named Cinda Williams. They worked together in a movie called One False Move. They clicked because they were both creative, but they weren't good together for the long run. They split in 1992, and both said later they never should have gotten married. His fourth wife was a former Playboy model named Pietra Dawn Cherniak. That marriage was the roughest one. They got married in 1993, had 2 sons, and looked okay from the outside, but by 1997 it was over with a nasty divorce. There were claims of emotional and even physical abuse. Billy said those claims weren't true, but his reputation got wrecked anyway, plus the family was torn apart, and he felt terrible. By the late 90s, Billy thought he just wasn't made for marriage. His relationships always started hot and ended in pain. He joked that every divorce sent him straight to the Sunset Marquis Hotel. But behind the jokes, he felt guilty, scared, and like love always got away from him. Then Angelina Jolie showed up. She was young, wild, full of energy, and everything changed the second she walked in. When Angelina Jolie stepped onto the set of Pushing Tin in 1999, Billy Bob was 44, already tired from life, and engaged to another actress named Laura Dern. Angelina was only 24, fearless, already known as Hollywood's wild girl, and her career was blowing up fast. Nobody thought these two would fall for each other, but they did, and it hit like lightning. People on the set said the air changed when they were in the same room. The chemistry exploded right away. It was the kind of feeling that doesn't care about rules or timing. There was just one big problem. Billy wasn't single. Laura Dern was away shooting a movie when Billy and Angelina got super close. What happened next became one of the coldest breakup stories in Hollywood. Out of nowhere, Billy married Angelina in Las Vegas in May 2000. Laura said she found out the same way everyone else did, from the news. "I left home to work on a movie," she said. "And while I was gone, my boyfriend got married. I never heard from him again." It was fast. It was mean. And it put a dark cloud over Billy and Angelina's new marriage from day one. But once they were officially together, you couldn't separate them. They were always praising each other, stuck together like glue, acting like the rest of the world didn't matter. Angelina would show up on his movie sets just to be close to him. They hated being apart even for a couple of hours. Their love was crazy strong, almost too much, and it kinda scared people who watched. The passion looked like it would never stop. But inside, something was already starting to pull them apart. Stuff about who they really were deep down that they hadn't faced yet. Still, their love burned super bright, almost too bright, and soon that heat got too much for Billy. The crazy stuff everyone talked about. The minute Billy Bob Thornton and Angelina Jolie got married, the whole world stared. They weren't a normal celebrity couple, they were a total storm. Everything they did made headlines, and the newspapers made their life look weirder and darker than it really was. They were always kissing and hugging in public. At award shows, on red carpets, and interviews, they acted like they couldn't live without each other. Fans thought it was romantic. Haters thought it was too much. The media loved it because it sold papers. The most famous rumor was about the necklaces with each other's blood. In real life, it was just a tiny drop from a finger prick inside a little locket. It was sweet and kind of childish. But when the tabloids got hold of it, they turned it into a scary story. They said the couple wore big vials of blood around their necks, and TV shows joked they carried buckets of blood. Billie later said, "It was a simple little thing, but by the time the newspapers were done, it sounded like we wore a bucket of blood around our necks." They were shocked how fast a private moment became a huge joke. Then there was the age difference. She was 24, he was 44, exactly 20 years apart. Hollywood was used to older guys with younger girls, but this felt different because Angelina wasn't quiet or shy. She was strong, quick to act, and had complicated feelings. Billie was already worn out from life. Together, they didn't look like. They matched on paper, but their hearts totally got each other. The things that were the same pulled them close, but the things that were different started pushing them away, and everyone still remembered Laura Dern. People never forgot how fast Billie left his fiancée. That bad feeling followed him into the new marriage, and neither he nor Angelina ever explained it. They just stayed quiet and let the rumors do the talking. But staying quiet also made them feel farther from the world, and slowly farther from each other. What really went wrong when no one was watching? By 2002, their marriage wasn't just having little problems, it was really falling apart, even if fans couldn't see it yet. The crazy love that ate up everything at first started to slow down because of who they actually were. Angelina's life was speeding up like crazy. She was becoming one of the most famous women on earth. She won an Oscar, got huge movie roles, and started doing charity work in other countries. Her world kept getting bigger, and she loved it. Billie was doing the opposite. He was pulling back into himself. He had always been shy and nervous, liking small rooms, the same daily routine, and quiet places. He even said he was agoraphobic, meaning big crowds and attention made him panic. While Angelina felt alive traveling the world and walking red carpets, Billie felt trapped and dragged into a life that didn't feel like him. "Hers is a global lifestyle, and mine is an agoraphobic lifestyle," he said later. He didn't say it to be mean, just to be honest. Then came the big moment they couldn't ignore. In March 2002, Angelina adopted her first kid, Maddox. She was totally ready, in her heart and her head. Becoming a mom changed her right away. Billie went with her to Cambodia and helped with the adoption. But when they got home, something felt different. He liked kids and wasn't scared of being a dad. But everything happened so fast while he was already struggling to keep up with her. And what felt totally natural to Angelina felt way too much for him. Little by little, they started living in different worlds inside their heads. Angelina jumped into being a mom and helping people around the world, while Billie went back to his music, his writing, and staying home where it was calm. He started feeling like he wasn't good enough compared to her fame and confidence. He even said once he felt not good enough for her, and that little thought grew bigger and bigger. By late 2002, people barely saw them together anymore. They didn't have huge public fights or big drama. Their marriage just faded away quietly and quickly, the same way it started. When the divorce was official in May 2003, everyone was still guessing what went wrong. But the real reason was way sadder than all the gossip. They really loved each other a lot, but they were made for completely different lives. The real reason he finally told everyone. For almost 20 years, people tried to figure out why Billy Bob Thornton and Angelina Jolie broke up so fast. Some said it was the age gap. Some blamed the crazy, quick romance or all the tabloid drama. But when Billy finally talked openly about the divorce, the truth was much simpler and much sadder than anyone thought. "We just had different lifestyles," he said. Those 5 words explained the whole thing. Angelina was made for a life that faced the world. She was brave, always moving, and wanted to change things outside of movies. Even in her 20s, she was flying to war zones, adopting kids, and building a life that needed her to be out there all the time, brave and open. She loved new adventures and growing into new versions of herself. Billy was the total opposite, shaped by hard times, failed marriages, and anxiety that never went away. He only felt okay when everything was calm and quiet. He liked private places, the same habits every day, and in a small world he could handle. Fame made him tired. Crowds sucked the energy out of him. Even when he was successful, being in the spotlight made him want to hide. He always joked that after every divorce he ran to the Sunset Marquis Hotel. The joke was funny, but the truth behind it was sad. Angelina needed someone who could stand next to her in the big world. Billy needed someone who could sit with him in the quiet. Those needs just didn't match, no matter how much they loved each other. That's what Billy finally said. There was no big cheating scandal, no betrayal, no huge fight. They just grew in opposite directions. The newspapers made a ton of stuff sound crazier than it was, but Billy made one thing super clear. The love was 100% real. I look at that time as a great time, he said. Angie is still a friend of mine, and she's a wonderful person. He even stood up for her against all the wrong stories people told for years. He said their marriage wasn't as wild as everyone thought. And those famous blood necklaces? He explained they were just tiny lockets with one drop of blood. Nothing scary. In the end, the sad part wasn't what went wrong between them. It was all the good things that could have happened if they'd met at a different point in their lives. What happened after Angelina and the calm he finally found. After the divorce in 2003, Billy Bob Thornton went quiet and stayed out of the news for a while. Not in a dramatic way, just the way he always did when life got too loud. The world kept talking about Angelina, her huge fame, her growing family, and all the charity work that made her who she is today. Billy went the other way, far from cameras and drama and all the chaos he used to have. He went back to music, writing songs and playing with his band, the Boxmasters. Music was always the place where he felt safe and his worries got smaller. He sang. Till acted, but he picked deeper roles that didn't make him live in the giant spotlight. He stopped chasing fame because he already knew how much it cost. Pretty soon after the marriage ended, Billy met Connie Angland, a calm, normal woman who worked on movies behind the scenes. She wasn't famous and never wanted to be. Her life was steady and chill, the total opposite of the wild ride he'd just been on. For the first time, Billy felt like he didn't have to act big or keep up with someone else's energy or fame. With Connie, he could just be himself. They aka sure they were together more than 10 years before they got married in 2014. They have a daughter named Bella and built a quiet, private life that finally feels right for him. She's my speed, he said once. It's a simple sentence, but it says everything he spent years looking for. Meanwhile, Angelina Jolie started a whole new life, full of kids, helping people all over the world, directing movies, and raising her 6 children. Their paths went so far apart that it's clear their marriage never really had a chance. They weren't built for the same kind of life, but that doesn't make what they had fake. Even after all these years, Billy still talks about their time together with a smile, not anger. Time didn't erase what happened. It just made the memories softer. For him, the love was real. The good times were really good. And the ending, even though it hurt, let both of them become the people they were supposed to be. 20 years later, we finally know the real reason they broke up. And it's way more normal and human than all the crazy rumors. Sometimes love just isn't enough when two people belong in totally different worlds. Now it's your turn. Do you think Billy Bob Thornton and Angelina Jolie could have made it if they met at another time in their lives? Tell me what you think in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you never miss another Hollywood story.